So good morning. So yesterday we have discussed about the rotary compressor. In rotary compressor we have seen the operating principle of vane compressor, root blower compressor, screw compressor, then centrifugal compressor, axial flow compressor, and we have seen in brief the application of compressor for SI or CI engine. So for SI and CI engine we use supercharger or turbocharger. So in previous lecture also we have seen in brief about the supercharger and turbocharger. Again in unit 4 we have separate study of supercharger and turbocharger, that already we have finished. Now compressor point of view, once again we will see in brief the working of supercharger and turbocharger. Now this is first stage is of supercharger and second stage is of turbocharger. Then what is supercharger and what is this turbocharger and why this supercharger and turbocharger required? Now in engine, in order to increase the power requirement, we use supercharger and turbocharger. Now let us see the arrangement of supercharger first. So in supercharger we have this compressor. So this compressor is coupled to the engine shaft. So this is what the engine cylinder, this is the connecting rod, and that is connected to the crankshaft. So this crankshaft is coupled to the compressor shaft. Again this is the inlet for the compressor. So here the supercharger is nothing but the centrifugal or any one type of rotary compressor. So we have seen the working of rotary compressor. So it may be any one of that type of that rotary compressor. So this is what the inlet for the compressor. Now the environment air is taken inside the casing or cylinder of the compressor, and that compressed air is sent to the engine cylinder. So this is the outlet of the compressor, and that compressed air is sent to the engine cylinder through this intake manifold. So again in between we have intercooler, and after that the combustion products to the engine, that is sent through this outlet, or this is the exhaust valve. Now in normal engine or engine without supercharger, so air directly is taken from the environment through the inlet valve. But here when you use supercharger, then air is taken from environment inside the casing or the cylinder of the compressor. It is compressed, and then this compressed air is sent to the engine cylinder. So that is the difference between the normal engine and the engine in which we have supercharger. So this first stage is about the supercharger. Now let us discuss about the turbocharger. Now what is the difference between supercharger and turbocharger? So in turbocharger we have turbine that is coupled to the compressor. Again here the air from environment that is taken inside the casing or cylinder of the compressor, that compressed air is sent to the engine cylinder through this intake manifold, again through the cooler. Now the exhaust gases that is coming through this outlet of the engine, that is utilized in turbine, or we can use energy of this exhaust gas, because we know that when we have conducted the trial on engine, the temperature of this exhaust gas is very high. It is around 300 to 400 degrees Celsius, means it has very high energy and we can utilize this energy. So here in turbocharger we use that energy. So this turbine generates the power, and that power is given to the compressor, or that is this compressor is operated by using turbine. Now this is the simple working of turbocharger. Again this turbocharger we use in power plant also, particularly in diesel power plant we use such arrangements. Now second year point of view, just we have introduction of this supercharger and turbocharger, considering the that is application of the compressor. But in third year we study in detail once again of this turbocharger in energy engineering subject. Now after this discussion, that is from first lecture to this lecture, we have discussed about the reciprocating compressor as well as the rotary compressor. Now we have to practice some numerical based on all this discussion. Again, in order to practice the numerical, first of all we have to list the equation whatever we have discussed from our first lecture to this lecture. So can you recall that equations? So we have started with the general gas equation. What is the general gas equation? It is PV is equal to mRT. Then we know that in compressor we have isothermal compression or adiabatic compression or polytropic compression. And when we consider this compression, then basic relation between pressure and volume that we have to refer. So what are the relation? When we consider polytropic process, then the relation is PV raised to N is equal to constant. If it is adiabatic process, then relation is PV raised to gamma is equal to constant. If it is isothermal process, then relation is PV is equal to constant. So these are the next basic equation. After that, we have derived the expression for indicated power for compressor with clearance and without clearance. That relation also we have to take into account. What is that relation? So the indicated work without clearance, it is given as N upon N minus 1 P1 V1 in bracket P2 by P1 raised to N minus 1 by N minus 1. This is one relation. Another relation is we can replace this P1 V1 in terms of mRT1. Then accordingly, indicated power for compressor without clearance, it is given as N upon N minus 1 mRT1 in bracket, that is P2 by P1 raised to N minus 1 by N minus 1. Now after that we have seen the expression for indicated work for compressor with clearance. Again we have derived the expression for mechanical efficiency, then volumetric efficiency, then isothermal efficiency. Again we have seen multi-stage reciprocating compressor. Again for multi-stage reciprocating compressor we have derived some additional equations. So all these equations we have to take into account for solving the numerical. Now let us proceed for solving the numerical. Now whatever equation we have discussed, that important equations are listed here. So first equation is PV is equal to mRT. So this is the general gas equation. Then next equation is as per the type of compression in isothermal. So as per the type of compression in compressor, whether it is polytropic compression, isothermal compression or adiabatic compression. If the compression is polytropic, then equation is PV raised to N is equal to C. If the compression is adiabatic, then equation is PV raised to gamma is equal to C. If the compression is isothermal, then equation is PV is equal to C. Then we have to refer the relation between temperature ratio, volume ratio and pressure ratio for polytropic process or for adiabatic process. So equation 3 is the relation between temperature ratio, pressure ratio and volume ratio for adiabatic process. So it is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma is equal to V1 by V2 raised to gamma minus 1. Now when the process is polytropic, then expression is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to N minus 1 by N is equal to V1 by V2 raised to N minus 1. Then this is the expression for indicated power for compressor without clearance. So this W is equal to N upon N minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1 raised to N minus 1 by N minus 1. If we take into account the adiabatic compression, then we have to replace this small n by gamma. Then accordingly expression becomes gamma upon gamma minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Again we can replace this P1 V1 in terms of mRT1, that is by general gas equation. Then accordingly for polytropic compression we have N upon N minus 1 mRT1 P2 by P1 raised to N minus 1 by N minus 1. If it is adiabatic compression, then replacing this P1 V1 in terms of mRT1, So we have gamma upon gamma minus 1 MRT1 P2 by P1 raised to gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Again we can write that indicated power in kilowatt. So accordingly that W or this work or indicated work that we have to multiply by speed and we have to divide by 60, so that this power will be in kilowatt. Then next equation is about the swept volume. So it is Vs is equal to pi by 4 d square L into N, where d is the cylinder diameter, L is the stroke and N is the speed. Then the total volume Va is equal to the swept volume and clearance volume. So Vs is the swept volume, Vc is the clearance volume and Va is the total volume. Then volumetry efficiency in terms of this Va minus Vd upon Vs. Again we have seen during our discussion, that is how to derive the expression for volumetry efficiency in terms of clearance factor. So equation 9 is the expression for volumetric efficiency of compressor considering the clearance factor in terms of capital C. So it is eta V is equal to 1 plus C minus C in bracket P2 by P1 raised to 1 by N minus 1, or in terms of capital K, when we take into account the clearance factor, that is capital K. So in that case it is eta V is equal to 1 plus K minus K in bracket P2 by P1 raised to 1 by N minus 1. Again the clearance factor C, or that is clearance factor K, is the ratio of clearance volume to the swept volume. Again we have one more relation for volumetry efficiency in terms of free air delivery. So this volumetry efficiency is equal to FAD upon Vs. So all this expression we have to take into account for solving the numericals. Now let us proceed for numerical. Now this is the statement of numerical. A single stage reciprocating compressor takes 1 meter cube of air per minute at 1.013 bar and 15 degrees Celsius and delivers it at 7 bar. Assuming that the law of compression is PV raised to 1.35 is equal to constant and clearance is negligible, calculate the indicated power. Now this is the statement of our first numerical. Now first of all we have to discuss about the data of the numerical and then we will see how to solve this numerical. Now the type of compressor is reciprocating compressor. Again it is single stage reciprocating compressor. Again volume of air that is handled is 1 meter cube of air per minute. So it is the volume V1. It is 1 meter cube per minute. Now we can convert this volume from meter cube per minute to meter cube per second. So how we will convert this volume from meter cube per minute to meter cube per second? So we have to divide this by 60. So 1 meter cube per minute is equal to 1 divided by 60 meter cube per second. Then this is the pressure P1, that is 1.013 bar. Again this pressure is given in bar. So we have to convert this pressure from bar to Pascal or from bar to Newton per meter square. So we know that 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal or 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. So that's why we can write pressure P1 is equal to 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal or Newton per meter square. Then this is temperature T1, that is 15 degrees Celsius. Again we have to convert this temperature from degree Celsius to degree Kelvin. So we have to add 273. So 15 plus 273. So it is 288. So that is the temperature T1, 288 degree Kelvin. Then this is the discharge pressure P2. It is 7 bar. Again we have to convert this pressure from bar to Pascal or Newton per meter square. So pressure P2 is equal to 7 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square, or it is 7 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Again the law of compression is PV raised to 1.35 is equal to constant. So this indicates that the compression followed is polytropic compression, and we have to compare this equation with PV raised to N is equal to C. Then accordingly the polytropic index small n is 1.35. Again here in compressor clearance is neglected, and neglecting the clearance we have to find indicated power or indicated work. Now during the theory lecture we have seen how to find this indicated power neglecting the clearance. So that formula we have to refer here. What is that formula? So since the compression is polytropic, so we can refer the expression for indicated power as n upon n minus 1 MRT1 in bracket P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n minus 1, or we can refer in terms of pressure and volume, that is indicated work is equal to n upon n minus 1 P1 V1 in bracket P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n minus 1. Now in addition to this, if required, we can find other parameters like discharge temperature, discharge volume, mass flow rate of the air, and so on. So let us proceed for the solution. Now this is the data of the numerical as discussed. So volume V1 is 1 meter cube per minute. We can convert this volume from meter cube per minute to meter cube per second. Then this is the pressure P1, 1.013 bar. We can convert this pressure from bar to Pascal, that is 1.013 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Then this is the temperature T1, 15 degrees Celsius, so 15 plus 273, it is 288 degree Kelvin. Then discharge pressure is P2, 7 bar. Again we convert this pressure from bar to Pascal, so 7 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal, or 7 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. Then law of compression is PV raised to 1.35 is equal to constant. So here comparing this equation with PV raised to n is equal to constant, then polytropy index small n is 1.35. Now first let us find the mass of air delivered. So by general gas equation we have P1 V1 is equal to MRT1. So from that equation we can write mass is equal to P1 V1 upon RT1. Again P1 is 1.013 into 10 raised to 5. Then V1 is 1 meter cube per minute. It is considered in meter cube per minute. Then R is characteristic gas constant. If it is not given in the statement, then by default we have to take value of this capital R as 0.287 kilojoule per kg per Kelvin, or 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. Then temperature T1, this temperature T1 is 288. So when you substitute all this value, and by calculation we will get mass, that is 1.266 kilogram per minute. Again if required we can convert this mass from kilogram per minute to kilogram per second. So in order to convert the mass from kilogram per minute to kilogram per second, we have to divide this 1.266 by 60. Then accordingly mass will be in kilogram per second. Then we can find the discharge temperature. In the list of equation we have seen the relation between pressure ratio, temperature ratio, and volume ratio for polytropic process as well as for adiabatic process. Now since the process here is polytropic, so this is the relation between temperature ratio and pressure ratio, that is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n. Now transferring this T1 to this side, so expression becomes T2 is equal to T1 P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n. Again we know the temperature T1, it is 288. We know the pressure P2, it is 7 bar. Then pressure P1, it is 1.013 bar. And when we substitute the value, again this polytropy index small n is 1.35. That is given in the statement also. So when we substitute all this value, then we will get this temperature in degree Kelvin. It is 475.2 Kelvin. Now we have to refer the expression for indicated work. Now we can refer expression for indicated work in terms of pressure ratio or in terms of temperature ratio. Now this is the expression when we consider the temperature. So it is n upon n minus 1 mr T2 minus T1. Again this expression we have seen during our theory discussion. So here n is again 1.35, small m just we have calculated here, it is 1.266 kilogram per minute. Then capital R, it is 0.287 joule per kilojoule per kg per Kelvin. T2 just we have calculated, it is 475.2 Kelvin. T1 that is given in the statement, it is 288 Kelvin. So when you substitute the value of all these variable and when we calculate, then accordingly indicated work is, that is 2.54 kilojoule per minute. Now we have to convert that, sorry, it is 254. Now we have to convert this power from kilojoule per minute to kilowatt. Then accordingly we divide by 60, because we know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this 254 divided by 60, that gives us 4.23 kilowatt. So that is the indicated power required for single stage reciprocating compressor. So this is the solution for the first numerical. Now let us proceed for the next numerical. A single stage single acting reciprocating air compressor has cylinder diameter and stroke 200 mm and 300 mm respectively. The compressor takes air in at 1 bar and 27 degrees Celsius and delivers at 8 bar while running at 100 rpm. Find indicated power of the compressor, mass of the air delivered by the compressor per minute, temperature of the air delivered. The compression follows the law PV raised to 1.25 is equal to C. Take capital R as 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. Now this statement is similar to previous statement. Again we have to find all the parameters as we have calculated in previous numerical. Now let us proceed for the solution. So cylinder diameter is 200 millimeter. Again we convert this diameter from millimeter to meter. So 200 millimeter is equal to 0.2 meter. Then stroke, that is capital L, is 300 millimeter. Again we will convert this from millimeter to meter. So capital L is 0.3 meter. Then this is the pressure P1, 1 bar. Again we have to convert this pressure from bar to Pascal. This is the temperature T1, 27 degrees Celsius. We have to convert this temperature from degree Celsius to degree Kelvin. Then this is the pressure P2, 8 bar. Then speed is given, that is 100 rpm. Indicated power we have to find, mass of the air that we have to determine, temperature of delivered air also we have to find, and the law of compression is PV raised to 1.25 is equal to C. So when we compare this with PV raised to n is equal to C, then polytropic index is small n is 1.25, and this is the value of capital R, that is 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. Now it is the same data. So D is the diameter, it is 200 millimeter and 0.2 meter. L is the stroke, 300 millimeter or 0.3 meter. Then P1 pressure 1 bar, or it is 1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. Then temperature T1, 27 degrees Celsius, that is 27 plus 273, it is 300 degree Kelvin. Then pressure P2 8 bar. Again we have to convert this pressure from bar to Pascal, so 8 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Then speed capital N is 100 rpm. Polytropic index small n is 1.25, and characteristic gas constant is 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. Now first of all, since the cylinder diameter and stroke is given, so we can find here volume V1. So V1 is equal to pi by 4 d square into L. So when you substitute the value of D, that is 0.2 meter, and L 0.3 meter, and when we calculate, then accordingly this value of V1 is 0.0094 meter cube. Now we know the expression for indicated power or indicated work required for compressor considering the polytropic compression in terms of P1 V1. So that expression we have to refer here. So this work is equal to n upon n minus 1 P1 V1 P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n minus 1. Substitute the value of this small n, polytropic index, it is 1.25. Then pressure P1 is 1 into 10 raised to 5. Volume V1 just we have calculated, it is 0.0094 meter cube. Again pressure P2 is 8 bar. Then P1 is 1 bar. The small index, that is polytropic index, is again 1.25. Substitute this value in this expression, and when we calculate, then accordingly this indicated work or power is 2425 Newton meter. Now we have to convert this power in kilowatt. Since speed is given to us, so we have to refer this expression as the indicated power of the compressor is indicated work into speed upon 60. So this we have listed in the equation also. So when we substitute the value of this work, that is 2425 Newton meter, speed is 100, and when we divide by 60, then we get the power in kilowatt. So it is 4042 kilowatt. So that is the power required for this compressor. Then we have to find mass of air delivered. Again, to find mass of air delivered, we have to use the basic general gas equation, that is P1 V1 is equal to mRT1. So from this expression, when we rearrange, then mass is equal to small m is equal to P1 V1 upon RT1. Substitute the value of P1, it is 1 into 10 raised to 5. V1 is, we have calculated here, it is 0.0094. Then characteristic gas constant, it is 287 joule per kg per Kelvin. It is given in the statement of the numerical. T1 is 300 degree Kelvin. It is also given in the statement. So when we substitute all this value and when we calculate, then accordingly mass is 0.0109 kilogram per stroke. Now since speed is given to us, so we can multiply this mass by speed, and accordingly we get the net mass. It is 0.0109 into 100, that is 1.09 kilogram. Then next we have to find temperature of air delivered. So again we have to refer the relation between temperature ratio and pressure ratio for polytropic process. So it is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 raised to n minus 1 by n. Again substitute value of P2 8, value of P1 1, value of T1 that is given 300, and when we calculate, then accordingly T2 is 454.8 degree Kelvin, or it is 181.8 degrees Celsius. So it is degree Celsius, so by mistake it is written as degree Kelvin. So it is 181.8 degrees Celsius. Now we'll stop here and we'll practice similar numerical in the next lecture. Thank you.